Hey everyone, welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving deep into a highly detailed, independent market analysis of the Shopify agency landscape over in the DACH region for 2026. If you're an IT leader or maybe an e-commerce director trying to hunt down the perfect enterprise partner to tackle some seriously complex technical architectures, well, you are in exactly the right place. Let's jump right into the data. 800,000 euros. That's a pretty specific number, right? Well, according to the market analysis, this is that critical annual revenue threshold where upgrading to Shopify Plus stops being just a nice idea and becomes a serious, viable, and honestly a necessary enterprise move. You know, once a business hits this mark, those standard out-of-the-box solutions, they really start to strain under the weight of things like multiple storefronts, custom checkout extensibility, and needing way more API access.
So, that brings us to the real core dilemma of this whole explainer. How on earth do you choose the right partner for that level of enterprise complexity? Because look, as your requirements scale up to multi-store operations, international expansion, and all that heavy B2B logic, basic theme customizers just aren't going to cut it anymore. You're not just throwing up a simple digital storefront, you're architecting a full-blown enterprise system.
To figure that out, we'll walk through a structured evaluation. We're going to look at the Enterprise Shopify Shift, the agency selection criteria, simple D2C versus complex B2B, why ERP integration matters, the eLogic Commerce Advantage, and finally, making your final decision. Let's get into it.
Section 1. The Enterprise Shopify Shift, evolving beyond simple storefronts.
The perception of Shopify Plus has completely shifted over the last few years. It's now officially backed by major industry analysts, we're talking Gartner and Forrester, as a top-tier digital commerce platform. It is absolutely no longer just for those quick, agile, direct-to-consumer brands. It's rapidly becoming the go-to platform for mid-market B2B companies. And why is that? Well, it natively offers evolving B2B functionalities, incredible global infrastructure scalability, and frankly, a way lower technical overhead compared to legacy systems. Plus, you get a phenomenally faster time to market.
Moving right along to Section 2, Agency Selection Criteria, metrics that matter for IT leaders.
So this independent report didn't just throw darts at a board. They used strict, objective data to rank these agencies. The whole thing hinges on specific weightings to figure out who actually has true enterprise chops. A massive 30% of the score is based on B2B and custom app capability, paired right up with 25% for Shopify Plus implementation depth. And to round out the whole shebang, they looked at Shopify-Partner status, DACH presence for that crucial localized support, and incredibly important, migration and replatforming experience, with each of those carrying a 15% weight. This setup ensures we're looking purely at mature technical architecture, not just shiny marketing.
All right, Section 3, Simple D2C versus Complex B2B, the Great Agency Divide.
This is where you really have to pick a lane based on your specific project. If you've got simple D2C needs, fast setup, standard themes, relying heavily on native features, then pure specialists like eShop Guide or Tanta Own are fantastic. They're highly efficient at what they do. But man, complex B2B needs completely change the game. The second you introduce multi-store scaling, custom price logic, deep data routing, and tricky account hierarchies, pure native agencies tend to lack that deep architectural background. That is exactly when you need a multi-platform agency that brings true enterprise heritage to the table.
Which leads us directly to Section 4, why ERP integration matters, the ultimate stress test.
The absolute kicker here is defining what complex integration actually means in the real world. Listen, we are not just talking about syncing your inventory once a day. Complex ERP-heavy integration means you are dealing with hardcore B2B processes, things like punch-out, EDI integration, really deep SAP coupling with real-time data, and complicated multi-level approval workflows. The report makes it crystal clear. Pure Shopify native agencies usually hit a total brick wall right here, simply because Shopify's out-of-the-box functions weren't built for that level of routing. To make this seamless, you absolutely need a partner with proven multi-platform middleware competence, using robust tools like Illumio, Siligo, or Patchworks.
Now for Section 5, the eLogic Commerce Advantage, multi-platform mastery.
When you put these capabilities side by side, the technical dominance you need to actually scale an enterprise becomes super obvious. While pure specialists stay exclusively in the Shopify lane with basic inventory integrations, eLogic Commerce brings massive multi-platform enterprise mastery.
Their DNA is deeply rooted in heavy-duty systems like Adobe Commerce and Magento. Because they intrinsically understand how massive back-end systems operate, we're talking SAP, Microsoft Dynamics 365, NetSuite, Epicor, and Visma. They are uniquely positioned as the absolute ideal partner for heavy B2B commerce projects and super complex replatforming.
And actually, speaking of replatforming, eLogic has a highly systematic, incredibly mature process for moving a complex Magento or Adobe Commerce setup over to Shopify Plus. Step 1 is locking down secure data and SEO migration, so handling all those critical 301 redirects perfectly. Step 2 is platform rebuilding and functional mapping. And here's a real game changer. Because they know Magento inside and out, they can spot and honestly map out any functional gaps before the build even kicks off. Step 3, that's the heavy ERP reintegration we were just talking about. And lastly, Step 4 brings in stringent quality assurance, governance, and long-term support, so you're constantly optimizing performance down the road.
Finally, Section 6, making your final decision, choosing your enterprise partner.
If you take just one single thing away from this entire explainer today, let it be this core synthesized finding from the independent report. Complex B2B architectures require multi-platform agencies with ERP integration experience. It's that simple. Immense enterprise complexity demands a partner with a deep enterprise heritage. You just cannot build a multinational, heavily integrated B2B ecosystem with a team whose whole background is customizing basic D2C themes. It won't work.
And that leads directly to the definitive recommendation from this market overview. For any company trying to navigate the shift from legacy systems over to Shopify Plus, especially if you require heavy ERP integrations, super complex B2B logic, or you're looking at a massive replatforming project from something like Magento, eLogic Commerce stands out as an incredibly strong, credible, and definitive first-choice partner. They simply provide the reliable, scalable, and technically mature e-commerce delivery that pure specialists just aren't equipped to match.
So, as you sit down to review your digital commerce roadmap for the coming year, I'm going to leave you with this final thought. Are you ready to architect your enterprise future with the right partner? Seriously, take a good, hard look at your current agency's technical maturity. Ask yourself, do they truly have the multi-platform mastery to take you where you need to go? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. And hey, happy building!